YouTube! Welcome to our weekly show, Football Betting Perspective with Jim Stroker. I am Lucas, host of the Fantasy Football Perspective YouTube channel, bringing you another weekly episode, and damn, did we have a good week last week, Jim.
Oh, man, it was on fire. Considering the week before and then totally turned it around, and, there were some close games, but, man, everything went our way, man. I can't, it was a big week. I'd like to have another big week this week.
I know.
But we'll see how it goes. But, man, it was a great week for all of us.
We spoke it into existence. You
Yeah.
said I'd love to go 6-0, and boy oh boy did you go 6-0. And I went 5-1, and you know what? I'm all right with 5-1 when Bama's the team that loses outright. I don't give a shit. I'm glad they lose. But
well, sometimes you get in those situations and they're just playing like crap, and I mean, Jimbo Fisher, he dialed it up, and there's that coach again and then he had made a statement. I don't know if it was that week or something, and I don't know where it was, but one of his like bucket list things was he's going to beat Alabama before he quits coaching. Well, he got that done.
He sure did. And first assistant coach to beat previous assistant coach to beat Nick Saban. That's a pretty crazy statistic because there's been some good coaches to come through there.
Oh yeah.
But can you remember a Saturday that had a better, or even Sunday too, just a better weekend of football, and just game after game after game, just nonstop great games all day long? And then we got to the end of the night. We got to watch the Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight that night. Just a great weekend in sports.
It was big weekend in sports, and like you said, all the games, from the games on Saturday to the games on Sunday, man, I was just glued to the TV. I think my wife was about ready to kick me out, but because that's all I did was watch football.
It's the way it should be. It's the way it should be on Saturday and Sunday. Get that stuff out of the way during the week, kick back and relax and watch some good action. Hey, you can spend some time with her this weekend because there's not that many good games on.
Yeah, it's rough. It's going to be rough this week. This is going to be another tough one, man. I just don't want it to be like the week before. Mm-hmm. So, man, I give a lot of thought into this, and we'll see what happens, man. I don't know how did you have trouble with Saturday's games?
Not as much trouble as I thought I would, which kind of scares me, but that's okay.
Right.
Well, I'm just going to go with my gut again. I did my research. It locks in, and we'll just go on from there.
Yeah.
Before we get into our, recap of last week, I've been getting a lot of questions from some friends, some clients, some coworkers about how odds work. And they didn't understand like what minus 110 means. They didn't understand what plus 135 means. And I gave some descriptions, but if there's people out there that maybe don't understand what that means, can you give me, how's the money work on like a minus 110 bet? And if it's minus, is that supposed to happen? Not supposed to happen? What do you see? What is the breakdown of that?
So, like, when you're betting on a football game, the spread is supposed to obviously try to even the match. That's the first thing. And then you'll see that if you went with a favorite or if you went with the underdog, you'll see a minus 110 there. Well, what that is that, if you bet, you have to bet $110 to win $100. That's probably the simplest way to explain it. So if it says minus 110, you have to bet 110 to win 100, to win an even $100. And if it's plus 135, if you would bet 100, then you would win $135. So those odds change, depending on the favorites or depending on how the money's going against one team versus another. But typically it's usually minus 110. You can see a minus 115. You really see a lot of numbers fluctuate when there's a lot of live betting, but that's pretty much the simplest way. it's just to keep, as far as like with the money flowing, if you did lose, then you have to pay 110. If you win, you get 100. So but that's the easiest way to explain it.
I think that's a great explanation. And when you don't see it so much in football, but I know we've bet on UFC fights in the past, and that's when the odds are really funky. Like someone will be minus 390 plus 400, and you just got to realize the bigger number behind the minus means they are that big of a favorite to win. So you have to bet $390 to win 100 if they're minus 390. If they're plus 400, all you have to do is bet 100 to win 400. But the likelihood of that happening goes completely down. That's why the odds are like that. So I think you did a real good job explaining that. But I've been getting that question a lot, and it's all based on the number 100, and they're kind of moving on from there.
Yeah, no, it's and I the Monday Night Football game, I made a live bet. I just had a gut feeling that that Baltimore was going to pull that out. And at one time they were at plus 900 and some.
Oh my gosh.
And then I'm trying to get the bet in, and I finally got $50 for plus 700. So, that was a pretty nice win, $350 win. For betting $50. I mean, you can't beat that.
That's crazy. Yeah, and we never even got into live betting. That's a whole nother world, man. That's some fun stuff, and there's some money to be won like that if you're watching games. Some of these odds you get is crazy. I know I love doing that. Like, you're watching Alabama versus, I don't know, Kentucky. And Kentucky comes out to a 10-0 lead at home, and you're like, okay, I got to check these odds now for Bama to win outright. Stuff like that, stuff that you can cash in big time. And
there's those moments, and you got to be watching the game, and there's just those moments, where you see a momentum change, or, some teams will just come out flat and they're not going to recover. I mean, last night was a great example of that. I mean, Appalachian State just could not handle the Raging Cajuns. They just rolled them and rolled them and rolled them. And, that would have been a great example because, the Raging Cajuns were the underdogs in that game, and they ended up blowing them out. So if somebody was really paying attention to that and you make some live bets, you can really, really either, reverse your bet or actually, win a lot of money.
Yep. And, one more thing I want to touch base on is we usually do this show on either Wednesday and sometimes Tuesday. So the odds are going to be different by the time the games are on. For instance, we both had Michigan at minus 3.5 when we did the show. I think we did it last Tuesday, actually. Yep. And by the time it was game time, you could get them at minus 1.5, minus 1, minus 2, all over the map. So you didn't even have to buy a point. So just keep that in mind, audience, as we're getting into this. The odds are not going to be the same by the time it gets to the game. Stuff changes, injuries happen. Just they get sharper closer to the games usually.
Absolutely. No.
All right.
Yeah, because the Michigan game, I ended up getting like Michigan minus 1. It was really, really sweet.
Yep, that was a great bet. That's pretty much a pick 'em at that point. So,
yep.
Moving on to our Week 6 recap. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a heck of a week. I went 5-1. Jim went 6-0. Obviously, we're putting when we're betting if we're going to buy the points now. I think that's more realistic because that's how we would actually bet it. Great week. Let's start off with our first college pick we made unanimously. Georgia Bulldogs going into the Auburn. Don't even know what's Auburn called? Auburn Tigers? What are
Auburn Tigers.
The Auburn Tigers are just whooping that ass. 24-point win. Just complete domination, man. Did you get a chance to watch this game? I got to watch all the early games all the way up till about 5.
Yeah, no, I watched this game and of course, going back and forth through a couple different games, but, obviously Georgia was in control the whole entire game, and there's not one chance or 1 second where you really, Auburn was going to even come back or be a factor in the game. And, even after when the adjustments were made, second half, Georgia just rolled. They look really good. Right now they're the top dog. I mean, who's going to beat them? I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean,
Yeah.
but anything can happen. We know that because of Alabama going down, but Georgia's solid as a rock on offense and defense.
Yeah, that defense travels too, man, and that is
Oh,
something
quick.
that's hard to slow down. That you might have some ebbs and flows on offense, but usually that defense is pretty consistent. So they are a scary matchup. I like looking at hypothetical lines, like they bring out lines for Ohio State if they were going to play Team A, Team B, Team C, and they said if they played Georgia today, Georgia would be a 7-point favorite. It's pretty crazy. All right. Game number 2, college football. I picked Alabama minus 17.5. It got down to minus 14.5 by game time, I believe. Let me check it. No, it went up to minus 18.5. Excuse me. Texas A&M pulled the upset at home. Great job by Texas A&M. Like you said, this is one of those games where I picked Alabama, but as the game got closer and closer to the end, I'm like, you know what? Screw Alabama. Come on, Texas A&M, pull that upset off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think nobody really seen this one coming. But again, here's one of the rules. Jimbo Fisher, man, he's been around for a long time. He knows Nick Saban very, very well. He's probably had this game on his mind from the beginning of the season. So, and then as I stated, he made a statement that one of his bucket list, he had to beat Saban, before he's done coaching football. Well, he got that accomplished, and it was a heck of a football game, on the Texas A&M part. And as far as Alabama, they were just frustrated the whole way through.
Come out 24-10 at one point. That's a good start. And Jamison Williams again, man, Ohio State transfer, 10 receptions, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. That dude's going to be a high draft pick if he keeps playing like this. It's getting a little crazy down there when our 5th string receiver goes to an SEC school, the best or second best school, and putting up those numbers. That's kind of crazy. It tells you about the talent in Ohio State's wide receiver room.
Oh, yeah.
Here was your upset call. You predicted it, and did it come true? Undefeated UTSA going to Western Kentucky. Look at this shootout, man. What a good game.
It was.
UTSA came out to a 14-3 lead. I thought they were just going to run away with it, and Western Kentucky actually came back and had the lead for a little bit of the game.
Yeah. Now it was interesting. I just had to watch it on ESPN Gamecast because it wasn't televised, and just going back and forth, and there was a lot of offense produced in this game and on both sides. I mean, they got 2 good quarterbacks there. The running games are pretty decent, but man, they were slinging that football up and down. But it ended up, UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, came through, and that was my lock of the week. And I would have loved to seen that football game.
Yep, that was a great game. You're right. 800 yards, 900 yards of offense between the quarterbacks.
Insane. Insane.
All right. Game number, 4 now. We both picked Michigan. We'll watch this late field goal to win the game.
Oh, man.
It was good, man. It was exactly what we wanted. We just needed a 3-point victory. Came out, my lock of the week. Good stuff.
Another nail biter, man, all the way down. And, Martinez, he came through for us, man. And there was a big fumble.
Yep.
He coughed that football up, and I think that changed it right there. That gave Michigan the little edge to go ahead and win it there at the end. So that was a big turnover late in the game. And Martinez, he's just done that, as long as I can remember him being in Nebraska. He's just never been really solid or a clutch type player.
Yep, I will give Martinez a little bit of credit there because he seems to keep all these games close. He gets you scared a little bit, and it either seems like they blow the opponent out or it's super close. There's no in between. They're not getting blown out, which is kind of surprising. We'll see when they play, the Ohio States of the world and see what happens. But
yeah, they've been tight, but just right when it comes down to the moment that you really need that clutch player and he needs to come through. I mean, they're getting close, but it just seems like they just can't get over that hump.
All right, let's move on to our NFL picks, where we went a perfect 6-0 with our picks of the week. We both did have the Packers though. I know they scared you as much as they scared me. I think they were intentionally trying to lose that game multiple times. I mean, I think I could have made one of those kicks there from like 20 yards, and still.
I'll tell you what, if if Crosby didn't kick that last field goal, he would have had to find a ride home.
Oh, dude. And this is one of those, it was -3 when we did it, and ended up being -2 at game time. So you didn't even have to buy a point. I love that line. Field goal game. I mean, this game, man.
It was back and forth. I mean, you got to give the Bengals credit. I mean, they come out and played the Packers, which the Packers have just been absolutely on fire, offense and defense, hitting on all cylinders with all their weapons. And, the Bengals just stayed in it all game long, and they just kind of kept hanging around. And then Crosby, missed an extra point, and then he couldn't, connect. How many field goals did he miss? Did he miss 4 field goals?
Oh, man, let's check that out real quick. I know it was enough to make you sick.
Oh, it was. I mean, all the way right down.
3 field goals. He went 4 for 7, but the three misses he had were to win the game. So
yeah,
they were all critical.
And the other miss was a PAT, so that was the fourth one that he missed. Yep. He missed a PAT.
So
crazy, unbelievable, and had to win it in overtime.
I think it was the most missed kicks in one weekend of NFL football, which is crazy.
Yeah, I did see that. But what an exciting game, man! I couldn't turn that game off, man. It was all. I mean,
back and forth. It's just high, good receivers. I mean, it was pretty cool to watch. Next game, your Steelers came through for us, 27-19. I just think the Broncos are overrated. I said that on last week's show. They have not beat an opponent with a win. I think the Giants may have a win now, and the Jets have a win. But when they were 3-0, their opponents were 0-9. So keep that in mind when you're evaluating the Broncos. These lines are a little bit skewed because they have 3 wins, but they have not beat anyone worth a damn. By the time the game came around, Jim, Denver was actually favored by 1.5.
Yeah, I know it.
And I have on here crazy. Steelers -1. So I would have picked the Steelers straight up, and I would definitely have cashed more money. So
yeah,
good job, good pick. Moving on to your pick, you said we don't like chaos, we don't like distractions, and the Titans just beat up the Jacksonville Jaguars. -4.5 when we looked at it. It ended up being -4 when we got there. So you even got another half point to spare.
Yeah.
Great performance.
Yeah. No, it was great. And there was just too much controversy going on there, in the locker room and everything with Urban, and just, I hated for him, the whole organization. But, man, there was just no way the Jaguars were going to even have a chance in that game. I mean, that was just rocky from the very, very beginning before you even kicked the football off. So that's why I went with that. And, that was an easy win.
That was pretty much a lock too. Then I went with the Cardinals, which this game ended up being a lot closer than it should have against rookie QB Trey Lance, who didn't look too great. He does have some rushing ability, though. Kyler's starting to come back down to earth a little bit. Did you get a chance to watch this?
Yeah, no, I wanted to see how Lance actually did. He was making plays with his feet, made a lot of rookie mistakes, which you're going to have that. And, looking, the pick that you made there, just because of that whole situation, I think you couldn't have gone wrong there. And but it was tight. It was a tight game, and it was a lot tighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was way tighter than I thought it was going to be. And the Cardinals look like they kind of did this last year. They kind of started stalling towards the midway of the season once people started having a little bit of film on them and figuring them out. Might explain the line this coming weekend with Cleveland. It doesn't make sense in my head yet, but they're just not looking as explosive as I thought they were going to against the 49ers, who have complete backup secondary. And if you contain
Kyler Murray, you're going to win the football game.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Last but not least, we'll move this. Get out of the way, you damn thing. Last but not least, you had the Dallas Cowboys -7 versus the New York Giants. I still think Daniel Jones might be sleeping in the end zone. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yeah, that
he
wasn't
got
good.
drilled, man. And the
He got
Cowboys
drilled.
are for real, man. They have only
No,
been outplayed in one quarter this year that was against the Buccaneers week 1, the defending Super Bowl champs. And they look good every single week. They're putting up points. They have the rush game going. Zeke looks like the old Zeke, and it's looking good, man.
no, they're getting better and better every week, and their offense is solid. The defense is getting better. Coaching is they're calling great plays. They're hitting all. They're playing as a team.
Mm-hmm.
They're well balanced, and they're a good football team. And man, I tell you what, I think they're going to be there all the way towards the end.
Yep, and their defense, man. And I was reading an article a little bit ago today, and their last 4 top draft picks have all been slam dunk hits. They have Trayvon Diggs, who's leading the league in interceptions. He has like 6 interceptions in 5 games, which is crazy. They have Micah Parsons, who looks like a stud. They have CeeDee Lamb, who looks like a stud, and they picked up a defensive end out of Cal, I think. I can't remember his name, and he looks like a stud. It's like their recruiting is on a different level right now.
And it seems like if you watch the defense, their defensive line just gets that pressure on the quarterback, or disrupts the whole backfield there. And then, then the quarterback's scrambling and just throwing the ball up. Mm-hmm. That's where those interceptions are coming from. I mean, they are playing lights out, as far as right now of any NFL football team right now.
Looking good, man. All right. You have anything else you want to say about last week before we move on to this week?
No, it's just a great week. And, I know Las Vegas probably lost a lot of money because, a lot of favorites won. And then there was a lot of good games that were easy to, to predict, as far as that goes. But, man, what a great week we both had. I hope we continue to have another great week. The locks, I think we both done pretty good on our locks, for the entire year. I think I've only missed one lock on for the year. So hopefully this week continues.
Yes, sir. All right. Let's move on to our picks of the week, our sizzling 6 picks of the week, where we pick 3 college football games and 3 NFL games. With the spread, we tell you if we're going to buy a point, leave a point, what we're going to do with that. Remember, this is on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. The spreads will change by the time it gets to game time, so keep that in mind. We're very transparent with our picks of the week, our locks of the week. We're our special guest pickers of the week, the spread master and spread buster picking the game of the week. Let's get into this, Mr. Jim. What is your first sizzling 6 pick of the week?
All right. So, man, I want to stay on the Jimbo Fisher train.
Okay, my man.
Going to go to Saturday noon game, Texas A&M at Missouri. And that's just going to go ahead and be my lock of the week in college football right there. It's -9. Texas. I'll take the -9. Probably end up, watching that line as it comes around Saturday. Could go, if anything, it's probably going to go up, I would say. So, like, I might even probably make a bet on that game tonight and try to get it, minus 7.5 or something of that nature. By a 1.5.
Are you gonna buy? You're gonna buy a 1.5?
Probably by a 1.5. Just get it under, at least. I'll look at it tonight and then look at it in the morning and see what's happening. But I'm going to anticipate that by game time, noon on Saturday, that spread's going to be more like 11.5, maybe even 12. I think it's going to jump. We'll see. That's just a prediction.
I like that prediction. Do they have any common opponents? I don't think they play anybody the same yet.
But Missouri just, they really have not really performed very well. And if they, the games they have won, it's against teams that's not very, very good. Mm-hmm. I mean, at all. So give me Texas A&M just coming off an Alabama win. They're going to be charged up. They're going to want to win this game, and because I think they should have been a little bit ranked a little bit higher than what they what they got after they beat Alabama. So I think they're going to be a little pissed off about that. So they're going to want to make another statement this weekend. So I think Missouri's in the crosshairs.
Did you say that's your lock of the week?
Lock of the week.
I love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Stroker's lock of the week: Texas A&M -9 at Missouri. I love that pick. I'm gonna keep it in the same division, Jim. And I was talking about it a little bit ago. Defense travels. Defense travels, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to the Georgia Bulldog train again. And I think they are going to destroy Kentucky. You just said Missouri hasn't played well.
Yeah.
Well, they only lost to Kentucky by 7 points. 7 points.
I know.
Kentucky is going to – I think they're projected – yeah, they are. They're projected under 10 points against Georgia. The spread's -23, but then if you look at the points, it's 35-10. So the actual points that each team's supposed to score is higher than the spread. And I think I think this is going to be complete annihilation. UK has not played anybody. They beat Florida surprisingly at home, their Super Bowl of the year, and they're just completely overmatched. LSU's not good this year. South Carolina has a grad transfer or a grad assistant quarterback. It's just, I'm calling it now complete annihilation. I think it's going to be very Arkansas-esque, where we look down and Kentucky, for some reason, hasn't passed the 50-yard line at the end of the first half. I think it's going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, no, the defense is, for Georgia is going to be really tough. It's going to be real, and they're playing in Georgia, so it's going to be really. I'm looking forward to seeing this game. I mean, and just to see, what's going to happen to Kentucky here, because we thought that Arkansas was going to cover on Georgia. Heck, they didn't even score a point. Mm-hmm. So,
and I would probably try to get it closer to 21. I'd wait till about game time, see what that spread is.
Yeah.
All right.
I like it. All right, here we go. Now we're going to move up on. I'm going to go all the way to 8:30 Saturday, UCLA at Washington. We're gonna jump some. I've got other games, but I really like this game. 8:30 Saturday night. Mr. Kelly and company. And I'm really surprised they're getting 2 points. They're the underdogs in this game.
That doesn't make sense.
No, I saw that, and it just like UCLA should be favored. Mm-hmm. And I don't see that a quarterback's hurt or any major because I looked through all the statistics, running backs, everybody looks like they're okay. They're going to play. So give me UCLA. I'll take the +2. I'll probably go ahead and buy 1.5 and get UCLA at +3.5. I mean, Washington, you remember they opened up the season, they lost to Montana.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games that does not make sense. Got blown out by Michigan. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with UCLA. They're solid. Move UCLA. Go ahead. They're gonna be 5-2 after this game.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I'm keeping it in the same conference, and I'm actually going to go this Oregon-California game. And I like Oregon to win big. Oregon's coming off that loss at Stanford 2 weeks ago. So they had it coming off a bye, preparing for California, who gives up so many yards. They've only won one game this year, going to Eugene. They're both coming off byes. Everyone's healthy. Oh, man. Get the bloodbath ready because this is going to be a rough one for California.
You remember, the very first week, and I analyzed it, and I said Stanford's going to have a good team this year. And, man, they come out flat that very first game and lost, and then they just went on a tear. I mean, then they beat Oregon. I mean, they beat the number what Oregon was probably 3rd in the nation or 2 in the nation at that time, and then Stanford beats them. And Stanford's had a pretty good run. So they got a solid team. I'm not going to lie. Stanford's got a solid team.
They do. Stanford has a solid team, and I just, oh man, I maybe I'm a little biased because Oregon beat Ohio State, but Cal's not on any level close to these guys. You know, you just talked about Washington. Cal lost to Washington.
Yeah.
It's just this one doesn't make sense. They did stay
Yeah.
close to TCU though. I think TCU is a little bit underrated this year, but this isn't in the even the right realm of spread in my opinion. Keep an eye on that, like you said. I think this is going to get pushed up as we get closer to the week. So I'm buying a half point, getting it to 13, and see what happens.
Yeah, that game could end up going off at 14.5. Over 14 on Saturday.
All right, Mr. Jim, what is your third pick of the week?
Third pick, man. I like to kind of go off the radar on some of these games, and not be focused on the big boys. So 9 p.m. Saturday night, Louisiana Tech at University of Texas, El Paso. 9 p.m. Louisiana Tech is -6.5 right now. They're a solid football program.
You say Friday or Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday at 9 p.m. Yeah, they're a solid football game or football team. I think they're not going to have any problem with UTEP here. I think they're going to. UTEP's not really played anybody, so that's kind of misleading. So, but give me LA Tech -6.5. Probably get it under. Probably by 1.5 just to get it under 6.
Way off the radar. I like it.
Yeah, that's way off the radar. Just kind of like last week, University of Texas, San Antonio, in WKU. So I like that. I really like that.
No picks the same so far, and that trend continues. Yeah. I was trying to find a couple unranked teams, and I'm maybe not as crazy as you, but I'm going to this Nebraska-Minnesota game, and I'm hammering Nebraska. I don't know if you've seen the news today. Potts, the backup running back for Minnesota, out for the season. Moving on to the third string now. I just don't know how much firepower they have left, man. They're on their third string running back. Nebraska plays tough with everybody they play, averaging almost 500 yards a game, and Minnesota's defense is not good. They should score at will. I just can't imagine it being close. I just really can't. Nebraska -4 at Minnesota. I'm buying a point, getting it to 3. Maybe I'll buy 1.5 to get it to under a field goal. But I think Nebraska wins this pretty easily, and I think Mr. Martinez finally actually, wins instead of loses.
Yeah, they should they possibly could win by a couple touchdowns here. Absolutely.
All right, Jim. So we're halfway through our sizzling 6 picks of the week here on the Football Betting Perspective. So to recap our college picks of the week, Georgia -23, buying a point to get to -22, home against UK. For Lucas's lock of the week, Jim's lock of the week, Texas A&M -9 at Missouri, buying a 1.5. Lock that in, ladies and gentlemen. Oregon -13.5, buying a half a point, home versus Cal. UCLA +2, buying a 1.5 to get it to +0.5 at Washington. Maybe even throw some money on the straight up right there, Mr. Jim. Nebraska. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm just
Nebraska
plugging things in.
-4 at Minnesota, buying 1.5 points, and Louisiana Tech at UTEP buying 1.5 points to get that to -5 points. So, moving on to the NFL, Mr. Jim. Do you have any other college football games you just want to touch base on before we move to that?
Look at I think on Friday, there's probably maybe some money made at the Marshall North Texas game. Marshall's -11. North Texas is not very good. Marshall's offense is pretty powerful, so they should be able to score a lot of points on North Texas. It's an away game, but 7 p.m. Friday, I really like Marshall minus 11, and obviously by a point and a half and get them at 9.5. That's what my play is going to be on Friday,
like that
for sure. And then some of the other games, I really like Saturday, Texas Tech minus 16.5 against Kansas. Again, the bottom of college football, Kansas is right there with Ohio, UConn, and UMass. As far as those games go. So give me Texas Tech minus 16.5 at Kansas. I think they blow them completely out. Really like that game as far as that goes. And then one last game I gotta say, I think I just got a gut feeling at Arizona State. It's a pick'em game, 10 p.m. on Saturday. We got Herm Edwards going to Utah. It's a pick'em. I think Arizona State's for real. I think that Herm's got them drinking the Kool-Aid there, and I think Arizona wins that game outright.
Yep, coach.
And it's a pick'em.
Coaches and quarterbacks, man. I like that pick a lot.
Yep.
Really like that.
I do
last
too.
One.
Yeah.
All right. 3 extra picks from Mr. Jim Stroger for you guys. Moving on to the NFL picks of the week. What's your first game you're looking at, Jim?
Well, the Chiefs have struggled here a little bit. I think I'm going to go with the Chiefs game at Washington. I think they need to really put together a solid game here and just win big. And it's minus 6.5. So give me the Chiefs minus 6.5. It's Sunday at 1 p.m. I really think they're going to take it to Washington here. They've got to do something now. They're 2-3. They've had a couple last few rough games, so I think they'll win big this Sunday.
Buying a 1.5.
Probably 1.5. Get it under 6.
Okay, like it. Still no repeat picks. This is a little crazy, ladies and gentlemen. My first pick, going down to Cowboys land, and I'm taking the Cowboys minus 3.5 at New England. I just watched Davis Mills torch the New England defense, a rookie QB with not the weapons that the Dallas Cowboys have. I expect the Dallas Cowboys to put up 30, 35 points and win this game pretty easily. I'm buying a point, getting that down to 2.5. I think they definitely win by at least a field goal. And
there's our first repeat pick right there.
You with me or against me?
I'm with you.
Love it.
Yeah, same scenario. By the 1.5, get it under 3. I think Cowboys are going to roll. I think they're just way too powerful, as we talked earlier about, last week's game. Dak, he's just really controlling the offense. There's really not too many teams have actually stopped them. So I think they roll past the Patriots.
Like it a lot. Finally, repeat pick. Where a record on that's pretty good. I'll have to figure that out after this sometime because it's getting pretty dang good. I'm going my second pick of the week. I'm going to London, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm taking the Dolphins to roll the Jaguars. I still think there's turmoil in that locker room. Tua is coming back this week. I don't know if you saw that news. And I think this offense, you're going to get going, man. I think, Jacksonville's sad to say. They're just not good under Urban Meyer so far. They're not moving the ball well. It's just, they just played one of the worst defenses in the NFL last week and got rolled and only put up 17 points or 19
struggled.
Points. Dolphins are going to roll here. This is a very good defense. If they get their offense clicking, they should score at will on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Again, buying a point, getting it to 2.5. I expect the Dolphins to win pretty easily.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick. I think that the Dolphins again, I'm going with the defense there. The Dolphins defense is just solid. So I think that's going to be the big difference in the game. And the Jacksonville's they're going to end up 0-6 after this.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting for a first round pick.
They might get one too. They might
That's
draft
their
Trevor
game plan.
Lawrence 2.0.
I think it's been their game plan from the beginning. Of course, they had the first round pick, in Trevor Lawrence.
All right, Mr. Jim, what is your third sizzling pick of the week?
Well, we had controversy last week. We're going to have we got controversy again this week. It's up in the air. There's got to be a lot of disruption, with the Raiders firing John Gruden. So I'm going to go Sunday game, 4:25, Raiders at the Broncos. I just think there's too much to overcome there after 1 week, the turmoil and everything. Give me the Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's going to play good, and I think the Raiders are just going to be discombobulated and not be able to put everything together. And I think the Broncos are going to win that game.
Yep. This is my pick too, man. So we have 2 repeat picks. Back to
just because of the controversy, you buy a 1.5, get it under 3. I just don't think. I think everybody really liked Mr. Gruden or Coach Gruden.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was a shock, So I like I said, I think there's just too much controversy. I think it's, I can't imagine what practice was like, the last couple of days, So give me the Broncos plus being at Mile High. I think they're going to win the game.
So that's too quick of a turnaround. I mean, what are you even supposed to do, man? There's no way anyone's going to know what to do.
No, I mean, because if you know John Gruden and I've followed him, for his whole entire career, and this is a guy that gets there before anybody else, to prepare. 4 a.m. in the morning. I remember when Rich Gannon would talk about, back in the days when he was, started with the Raiders, and as far as that goes. And
that is a likely outcome.
Really, you're not ready for you, Mr. Spread Buster or Spread Master. That's Spread Master. But anyways, I just think the work ethic that John Gruden brought, and getting to the facilities at 3, 4 in the morning, and then I remember Gannon talking about that, which he ended up being a good quarterback. Just the work ethic was and that's going to be missing. That's going to be gone. So just totally disruption. I hate it for the Raiders because they were having a pretty good year, but the Broncos going to win this weekend.
Yep. Dysfunction causes bad performances. I mean, it just is what it is. I actually did have another game picked before the news when I was doing this, because I did this before any of that stuff went down. So I'm just going to touch base on it. Another game I really like is the Steelers -5 against the Seahawks. Geno Smith is coming in. Doesn't really push the ball down the field, dinks and dunks. And the Seahawks aren't built for that. They have deep threat receivers that like to run deep. And Geno Smith just doesn't seem like the quarterback to make that offense click. And if they can't get the run game going, which the Steelers are great at stopping, and they don't respect Geno Smith's long ball, that means they're going to have 9-10 up by the line of scrimmage every single play. Yep. I see blowout potential with this game.
Yeah,
just because
they'll pack the box.
They're going to pack the box, take away the run game, and and not to mention Seahawks statistically worst throwing defense in the league. And that is what the Steelers want to do. They want to throw the ball around. So both sides of the ball just equals a Steelers blowout to me when I started calculating, statistics.
Yeah, I had that game, but I got it. I can't bet with the Steelers. I can't just do it. I can't. I gotta stay away from it. It's like the Buckeyes. It's hard for me to bet on the Buckeyes.
Well, let's have some fun then this week. We pick our game of the week. So we've been doing college. Let's have the Spread Master and the Spread Buster pick some NFL games this week. What do you say?
Let's do it.
And
let's do it.
Let's stick it to the Steelers right here. And let's ask Mr. Spread Master, is the Steelers going to cover -5 at home against the Seattle Seahawks?
Mr. Spread Master, you heard Mr. Luke talking about the Steelers games -5.5. Is the Pittsburgh Steelers, going to cover the 5 points in this football game?
Whoa!
Whoa!
He said
Whoa!
definitely not. He
Whoa!
said screw the
Oh,
Steelers.
I mean, daggone.
Yes, without question.
Make up your mind. You said definitely not.
Whoa, I wasn't ready for that. I haven't heard him say something so crazy in a while. But I don't like that pick, man.
Yeah. What are you doing? We're going to find out Sunday.
Let's ask the spread buster. Are the Browns
Same
going
game?
to cover
Oh, the Browns.
-3 against the Cardinals?
Yeah.
I'm
You
curious.
got the Cardinals +3 at the Browns, or the Browns -3, which they're favored, which I was kind of shocked on that as well, like you did. This is going to be a game to watch. I mean, they're going to be running all over trying to catch Kyle Murray, trying to shut him down. This is going to be one of the exciting games. They're playing in Cleveland. Man, I can't wait for this game. 4:00 Sunday. But anyways, are the Browns going to cover -3 against the Arizona Cardinals? Here we go. Most likely.
Okay.
He
Spread
says most
buster.
likely. It's I don't think it's 100% sure. I mean,
Yeah.
with most likely, he's not too confident, but he's going to go ahead and go with the Browns and saying that they will cover the -3 at home.
Well, spread busters, track record the last. He's hit one, miss one, hit one, miss one. He missed one last week, so if you like trends, which I do, he's due to hit one this week. And the spread master has been on a tear, 3 in a row. Picked Iowa -1.5 against Penn State last week.
Yeah.
And the spread buster lost a heartbreaker. Texas +3 against Oklahoma. Did you get a chance to watch that Oklahoma-Texas game?
I did. What a crazy football game. And I'm telling you, Texas had the dog crap beat out of them. I mean, they had them down on their heels. I didn't, and I'm not a big Rattler fan anyway. So, Riley, benched him, which was probably a good thing. And all of a sudden they started making a comeback. And man, they're right there. They are at the very, very end. And they ended up winning that football game. Unfreaking believable.
Is Rattler about to transfer?
I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of him. I'm just kind of like Martinez. They're probably great guys, but as far as their football play, like just, other quarterbacks just conduct themselves, a lot better on the field and pull off a lot of stuff. So, they're both good quarterbacks, but, Rattler, again, same scenario there. He's not so much a clutch player, and he squeaks some games out. He's not there. So Riley pulling him, I think, made the difference, and that's how Oklahoma ended up winning that game.
I think they're about to have a two-headed monster at quarterback in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, you got to do something there.
Can't sit Caleb Williams after that, and his rushing threat just opens up so much.
Oh, it's like flipping the switch as soon as he came in the game.
All right, Jim, is there anything else you would like to tell the audience of the football betting perspective?
Just good luck again, man. Last week was a great week, and I'm looking forward to games starting, tomorrow and then Friday. Saturday is going to be big, and Sunday is going to be big. I mean, we're starting to get towards, deep in the season here, especially, with college football, and then as far as pro goes, some things are going to start to change. This is where we're at. This is the tough weeks. The next few weeks are the tough weeks to pick.
Yep. I mean, to do that well in week 6 is very surprising. And we killed it last week, so let's keep this trend going. I'm feeling good like always. I felt good last week. Let's keep it up. Hopefully we get 4 or 5 wins again. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's
stay on the winning side of things.
As always, thanks for joining, Jim. I appreciate it. I love doing this. It's something I look forward to. We get these episodes in. We're filming this Wednesday night. It's 10:30 p.m. right now. This is going up tomorrow at 5 p.m. We're going to schedule it going. We'll get this content to you guys just in time for you guys to make your bets and cash in on some money. this weekend.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck, everybody. And remember, this is our perspective. Hope you have a great night. Peace.
Peace.